Hello everyone, and welcome back to another USMLE 101 video. This is going to be a quick video for those who are matching this year, or who are hopefully will match this year, applying to the match and everything in between. This is going to be, from the title you can know that this is going to be a timeline of the match, what to expect, important dates and such. I'm going to hint on what to do in each step, but I'll try to make a separate video for each step, just to go in depth and to make you understand what you're supposed to do along the way. So let's just get started right away. First off, if I'm talking about any links, any websites, I'm gonna link it down below in the description, so just check that out and follow through. Also, I'm gonna be linking in the description a diagram of the timeline that I'm talking about, so you can download that, follow through with the video if you want. So let's start with the most important date, which is the start date. That's going to be next month. It's going to be in June. I don't know exact date because it's different each year, but June 20th, that was last year. That's when you get something called the token, or ERAS token. So the token is kind of like your key to start your match process. It's something that your designated dean's office would give you if you are a US grad, but if you are an international graduate, the ECFMG works as your dean's office, so they offer you that token. You have to pay $80 for it. It's kind of like a code or something that you enter into the website where you apply for the match. Where do you get it? You get it from the ECFMG on Oasis. You can apply for it, and they're going to give you an email with all the details that you want to know at that time. So just be prepared for it at that time. So, well, what to do from now till that time? Actually, what to do from now till the match day is going to be the same. So let's just continue with the dates till we get into not the match day, I mean the apply day, or when you apply to the match day. It's going to be the same, so just follow through with the timeline so far, and I'm going to tell you what to do when we get to it. So next up, if you're applying for emergency medicine, or if you're applying for any special match, there are important dates in July. I think in the emergency medicine, you have to do specific steps for it, something called the video interview, where you actually have like a video and you answer specific questions, standardized questions, and then you upload that video or something like that. I'm not really familiar with that part, but what I know is that it's in July, and you should take notice of that date. So after that, pretty much the dates are going to be the same for everybody. The date that is most important next is going to be September 6th, and this is when you get to apply to programs, and it doesn't mean that this is where the programs get your application. It's just you get to apply to programs at that time. September 15th, this is when programs start to get your application, and this is where the deadline, or not a deadline, but the preferred time where you have to finish everything that you are preparing for your application, get everything ready, and just upload it on the website. So when people get your application, it's correct, and it's final, and there is no delay. So what to do from now till that date, September 15th? What I recommend is that you should work on two things. Mainly the personal statement. You can get professional help. You can get help from your colleagues, from senior colleagues. You can get help from your attendings, whatever. You can get help from your brother or sister. I don't care. Just try as much as you can to get help. Even if you're really good at writing, a second set of eyes is really good idea, and also preparing ahead is a really good idea. A second thing that you should be doing is finishing up everything related to electives or activities that you're doing, or observerships and everything like that. It doesn't mean that you have to finish everything, but just wrap up things, make your plans for observerships and everything to be done before that time, before September 15th. And the reason why is because you need to wrap up your recommendation letters at that time. You need, even if you've done observerships or electives way back in time, it's a good idea to freshen up that connection with that doctor and ask him or her about recommendation letters. Is it okay that you give me a recommendation letter towards my my application? I'm applying for such and such, and I would really be honored if you can give me a recommendation letter towards my residency application. So at the time, you should be wrapping up those connections and making sure that they're going to give you your recommendation letter for the residency. What else can you do? The third thing that you can do is research programs, and you probably most of you would be doing that by now, but just in case you did not start, I would really start right now. It's really important to do that process over a long time, because you're gonna do a lot of research. You're gonna have to look at a lot of websites, a lot of activities that you need to do, and I'm gonna do a whole separate video on this part, how to choose your programs. How did I choose my programs, since I actually chose just 50 programs, or 54 programs to be exact, and that's quite like a few number for people who are international medical graduates, and yeah, so this is going to help you in this regard. So again, to recap, you're going to get your token on June 20th, and then you're going to be applying in September 6th, and programs get your application on September 15th. It's an important question that most people are going to ask. Well, where should I apply? I got my token. What should I do? There is a website, a separate website, where you build your application. It's not the match website. It's called the ERAS website. I'm gonna link it down below as well. This is where you build your application. You put your recommendation letters, your designated dean's office letter. You also put your personal statement, and this is where you apply to programs, where you rank your programs. Not rank, I'm sorry, save your programs and such. You can check out. Also, I'm gonna do a separate video on this part. I'm gonna repeat myself here when they say that I'm gonna do a separate video, so just along the way, each step I'm gonna do a separate video for it. So you build your application, you put your CV in there, you have your recommendation letters ready, and everything is done, and now you chose the programs that you want to apply for, and it's September 15th, and then you apply. What's next? What's next is you're gonna have to wait. It's gonna be at least 2 weeks of waiting, at least, maybe even more. It can be months. But what you're waiting for is invitation for interviews. So interviews usually start in October, maybe mid-October for most people, and it goes on way till February. So you can have dates in all over the place. Some people get a lot of dates in the beginning. Some people get a lot of dates in interviews towards January. Most people will get it in November and December. Again, I'm gonna do a separate video on how to manage this, and how to pick the interview dates and such. So importantly here, look out for interviews, look out for invitations. You can get invitations via email, you can get invitations via the ERAS website. Some people have interview brokers, which is like a designated website for their interviews. So also you're going to look out for invitations through those websites as well. So now we're going into the interviews, where we're doing our business here. What are more important dates that we need to know? Well, you need to know that in November, I think November 20th, this is when you get to apply for the match, or not apply for the match, but say that you are participating into the match. Participation into the match is a whole different thing. This is where you get to a different website. It's the match website. You pay around $80 for it as well. This is the early registration. If you do a late registration, which is by the deadline around February 20th, you have to pay an extra $50 for it. So you should be by November 20th. You should be applying for the match, and you're not applying for the match. It means that you are that you're ranking programs, or you're saying I want this program or anything like that. You're just saying that I want to participate in the match, and when the time comes, you can have access to ranking your programs and such. So you register for the match. You're going into interviews. What's next? Okay, so finishing interviews, most people would finish in January, some people in February, and then you're gonna have in February you're gonna have a rank order list open for you on the match website. And the rank order list is where you rank the programs that you interviewed with, but only the programs that you interviewed with. How do you rank them? Well, this is up to you. Again, a separate video is gonna be coming on this part. Well, you're gonna say, you know, I want this program first. Second is gonna be this program and such, and it depends on a lot of things, and also depends on personal things as well. So I did my rank order list. I submitted that list. I stuck with the deadline, which is gonna be before the match week, and I'm done. Now what to do? Now you don't have to really do anything. You just have to wait. And see. You have to wait for match week, which is usually is going to be in the mid March. Ours was March 11th, and it's going to be on the Monday and the second Monday of the month, I would believe. And this, where you get results, is whether you matched or not. It doesn't really tell you where you matched, but it just says, you know, congratulations, you matched, or no, you did not match, and you're eligible for SOAP, which is a whole different thing here. SOAP is kind of like the scramble, where you didn't match in the beginning, but there are some programs who did not get all the spots filled, so they try to bring you guys together and see if there's going to be a match here or not. And that takes like 3 to 4 days, and then on Friday of that week, match week, you get to know where you matched or you did not match at all. And that's it. And this is the date that you celebrate. Of course, you can celebrate on Monday if you did match, but in general, you celebrate on that note, and then a whole different journey starts after that. I hope you guys are familiar now with the important dates, or what happens usually during the match. To recap, you got to start with June 20th to get your token, and then you can build your application and work on personal statement and recommendation letters and such, and then apply to programs on September 6th. The programs get your application on September 15th. You get interviews, and during the interviews on November 20th, you can apply for the match, or you're going to say, I want to participate in the match. You do your rank order list on February 20th, and then you wait till match week, which is going to be the second week of March. And then hopefully it's going to be congratulations, you have matched. So that's my my own take on the timeline. Again, everything's going to be linked down below in the description. If you have any questions, if I was confusing a little bit in any part, just ask me down below. I answer all questions all the time on all videos, and hopefully I made your journey a little bit easier here. Again, look out for future videos related to that. Each step is going to have its own separate videos, and I really look forward to doing those. They're going to be a little bit different because I'm going to have kind of like a PowerPoint presentation where I have the points and bullet points and everything that was requested. So I'm working on that. It's going to take a little bit of time, but hopefully it's going to be coming soon. All right, you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.